They hurt you, but they will never hurt you again. It's strange, isn't it, how a moment, a word, or an action can slice so deep it lingers, even years after the wound was made. You're walking through life, trying to move on, but every now and then it sneaks up like a shadow at sunset. That ache, that memory, that little voice whispering, "What did I do to deserve this?" But here's the thing. Pain isn't the full story. It's just a chapter. The people who hurt you, they might not even realize the power they had or the damage they caused, yet somehow they're still renting space in your mind, shaping how you see yourself and the world around you. This stops now, because here's what nobody tells you. They only hurt you because you allowed them to matter. You gave them access to the most vulnerable parts of your soul, believing they'd care for it the way you deserved. That wasn't your mistake. It was theirs. But today is about reclaiming that power. Today you decide that their chapter in your story is over. Not through anger, not through vengeance, but through quiet, unwavering resolve. They hurt you, but they will never hurt you again. This journey isn't about forgetting the pain. It's about transforming it. It's about taking what broke you and using it as the foundation for something unbreakable. So let's get honest, raw, and real about what healing looks like. Not the pretty Instagram version, but the gritty, powerful, life-changing truth. You're not here to survive your wounds. You're here to rise from them. Ready? Let's begin. Lesson 1. The power of emotional boundaries. Have you ever noticed how some people can walk into your life, wreak havoc, and leave you wondering if you're the problem? It's like they have a master key to your emotions, and with every interaction they twist it just enough to hurt, but never enough to make you slam the door shut. This is where emotional boundaries come in, and let me tell you, they are life-changing. Emotional boundaries aren't about building walls. They're about building gates. Gates you control. They let the right people in and keep the wrong ones out. When someone hurts you, it's easy to feel like you need to change who you are to stop the pain. But the truth is, you don't need to change. You just need to set better terms for how people treat you. And yes, that starts with what you're willing to tolerate. Imagine your energy, your peace, and your heart as a home. Would you let someone walk in with muddy boots and destroy everything you've worked so hard to keep clean? Of course not. Setting emotional boundaries isn't easy. It requires courage and consistency. But once you start, you'll notice something incredible. The people who truly care for you will respect them, and those who don't, they'll reveal themselves for what they are, temporary visitors, not permanent fixtures in your life. Lesson 2. Detachment is strength. There's a freedom in detachment that most of us only discover after we've been hurt. At first it sounds cold, even unkind, like you're shutting yourself off from feeling. But real detachment isn't about pushing people away or pretending not to care. It's about reclaiming your peace. It's about deciding that no one's actions or opinions get to define your happiness ever again. Think about it. How many sleepless nights have you spent replaying someone's words or actions, wondering if you could have done something different? How often have you carried the weight of their behavior as if it was your fault? Detachment is the practice of realizing that their actions are theirs, a reflection of who they are, not who you are. It's about refusing to let someone else's chaos dictate your inner calm. This doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop attaching your self-worth to what others do. When someone hurts you, it's easy to take it personally, but their cruelty, indifference, or neglect often says more about their wounds than your worth. Detachment gives you the strength to say, "This isn't mine to carry." Start small. When the thoughts of someone who hurt you creep in, pause and ask yourself, "Is this serving me?" If it's not, let it pass like a cloud in the sky. Detachment isn't giving up, it's taking your power back. It's the quiet realization that your peace matters more than their noise. Lesson 3, turn pain into purpose. There's something about pain that feels so final when you're in the middle of it. It consumes you, shrinks your world, and whispers that this is all there is. But what if I told you that pain is not the end of your story? In fact, it can be the beginning of something extraordinary. When used right, pain becomes fuel, a spark that ignites purpose in a way comfort never could. Think about the people who inspire you the most. Chances are they've faced heartbreak, betrayal, or loss. What makes them remarkable isn't the pain itself, it's what they did with it. Pain, when it feels unbearable, is a reminder of your capacity to feel deeply, to care, and to endure. And in those raw, vulnerable moments, you have a choice. Let it consume you, or let it shape you. Start by asking yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe the pain taught you to set boundaries, to prioritize yourself, or to see people for who they really are. Write it down, even if it's messy. Then, think about how you can use this wisdom. Can you help someone who's going through something similar? Can you channel it into art, a project, or simply living more intentionally? Your pain doesn't have to define you, but it can refine you. Turning pain into purpose isn't about erasing what happened. It's about proving that even the darkest chapters can lead to the brightest stories. Lesson 4. Forgiveness is for you, not them. Forgiveness. Just hearing the word can stir up resistance, can't it? It feels like letting them off the hook, like saying, what you did was okay. But here's the truth no one tells you. Forgiveness isn't about them, it's about you. It's about unchaining yourself from the anger, the bitterness, and the pain that keep you tethered to what happened. When someone hurts you deeply, it's like carrying a burning coal in your hand, convinced that your anger will somehow burn them. But all it does is scorch you over and over again. Forgiveness is the act of finally putting that coal down. It doesn't mean you excuse their actions or invite them back into your life. It means you decide to stop letting their choices control your peace. Start by acknowledging your feelings. Anger, sadness, betrayal. Feel them, name them, let them be real. Forgiveness doesn't mean suppressing what you feel. It means allowing those emotions to pass through you so they no longer control you. Then remind yourself, you are not forgiving for their sake. You're forgiving so that you can move forward without the weight of their actions holding you back. If it feels impossible, start small. Write down what you're willing to let go of today, even if it's just one thing. You'll find that as you loosen your grip on the past, your hands become free to embrace the present. And that, more than anything, is what forgiveness is about, reclaiming your freedom. Lesson 5. Rewrite your narrative. What they did to you may have left scars, but it doesn't have to define you. Yet, so many of us unknowingly let pain write the story we tell ourselves. I'm not enough. I'll never trust again. I always attract the wrong people. These silent narratives shape how we see ourselves and the world, but here's the good news. You hold the pen, and it's never too late to rewrite your story. Start by recognizing the lies. What story have you been carrying around since the hurt? Maybe you've been telling yourself that you're broken or unworthy, but those are just echoes of someone else's actions. They're not the truth. They're just a reflection of how you felt in the moment, and feelings, while valid, are not facts. Next, decide what kind of story you want to live. Imagine yourself as the hero, not the victim of your journey. What does this new version of you believe? What does this version refuse to settle for? It might feel strange at first, even fake, but the more you embrace this new narrative, the more real it becomes. This isn't about erasing the past or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about taking control of what comes next. You can't change what happened, but you can decide what meaning you give it. You're not the person who got hurt. You're the person who rose anyway. This is your story. Make it one worth telling. Lesson 6. The art of walking away. Walking away is one of the hardest lessons to learn because it feels so final, doesn't it? There's that tiny voice in your head saying, what if they change? What if I'm giving up too soon? But here's the truth. Walking away isn't about giving up. It's about giving yourself the gift of peace. It's recognizing that staying in a space where you're disrespected, undervalued, or hurt is costing you more than you realize. Think about it. Every time you stay in a relationship, friendship, or situation that drains you, you're giving pieces of yourself away. You're telling yourself, this is the best I can get, even though deep down, you know you deserve better. Walking away is your declaration that you are worthy of more. It's not weakness, it's courage in action. The key to walking away is shifting your perspective. Stop focusing on what you're losing and start focusing on what you're gaining. Clarity, self-respect, and space for something better. Yes, it will hurt at first. Yes, it will feel uncomfortable. But growth always does. Practice this in small ways. Walk away from conversations that feel toxic. Walk away from people who dismiss your feelings. Walk away from habits that keep you stuck. With every step, you'll feel a little lighter, a little stronger. Remember, walking away doesn't mean you don't care. It means you've chosen to care about yourself. And that, my friend, is the ultimate power move. Lesson 7. Heal through connection. Pain has a way of making you retreat. When you've been hurt, the natural instinct is to pull back, build walls, and protect yourself from being hurt again. But here's the paradox. While isolation feels safer, it's connection that truly heals. Healing isn't something we're meant to do alone. It happens when we let others remind us of our worth and hold us steady while we rebuild. Think about the people in your life who have shown you kindness. It might be a friend who checked in when you were struggling, a family member who gave you unconditional support, or even a stranger whose smile reminded you that goodness still exists in the world. These moments of connection are what tether us to hope. Start small. You don't need to spill your heart out to everyone you meet. Share your story with someone you trust, or simply let yourself be seen. Vulnerability is scary, yes, but it's also where healing begins. When you allow someone to witness your pain, you're telling yourself that you're not alone. And that's incredibly powerful. Connection can also mean joining communities where others understand your journey. Whether it's a support group, a creative outlet, or simply spending time with people who lift you up, these bonds remind you that pain is universal. But so is healing. You don't have to carry your burden alone. Let the right people walk beside you, and you'll find that the journey to healing feels a little lighter with every step. Lesson 8. Build unshakable confidence. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. And if someone's hurt you in the past, chances are your confidence took a hit. Maybe they made you feel small, unworthy, or invisible. But here's the beautiful thing about confidence. It's like a muscle. No matter how weak it feels right now, you can strengthen it, one small action at a time. Start with a promise to yourself. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Maybe it's waking up 10 minutes earlier, drinking more water, or finally tackling that project you've been avoiding. The goal isn't the action itself. It's proving to yourself that you can commit and follow through. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you're rebuilding trust in you. Confidence also comes from acknowledging your worth. Think of all the moments you've overcome, the times you thought you'd break, but didn't. Write them down if you have to. Look at that list and remind yourself, I am stronger than I think. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about knowing you're capable, flaws and all. The more you show up for yourself, the less the opinions of others will matter. And one day you'll realize you didn't just rebuild confidence, you became unstoppable. You hold the power. What happens next is up to you. So here we are. If you've made it this far, let me tell you something. You're already stronger than you think. Reading this wasn't just scrolling through words. It was a commitment to yourself. a quiet promise that you're ready to let go, to rise, to become the version of yourself that's no longer defined by pain, but by power. But let me ask you this. What happens now? Do you close this page, go back to your day, and let the noise of the world drown out this moment of clarity? Or do you take the first step? Not tomorrow, not someday, right now. Maybe that first step is writing one thing you're letting go of in the comments below, or sharing one lesson that hit you right in the heart. Because here's the thing, when you put something out into the world, it's real. It's not just a passing thought in your mind, it's a declaration. And who knows? Your comment might be the exact words someone else needs to read to find their own strength. Oh, and if this resonated with you, even a little, let's make this connection a two-way street. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because this isn't the end of your story, it's just the beginning. Let's keep building, growing, and rising together. And while you're at it, share this with someone who might need it. Trust me, the ripple effect of your courage can change more lives than you think. So tell me in the comments, what's your first step? Let's start this journey, one brave act at a time. You've got this.